Welcome to Quarter Inch Seam. I'm Angela. You are in the my sewing room. And I want to thank everybody for who was on the live last night. We celebrated our first 30 straight days of videos. I cannot believe it. It was awesome. It was always so, and look, the lives are always fun because we chat and we laugh. It's great. I love it. Anyway, Wednesday nights at 6. Sunday nights, Sunday mornings at 11:30. And it's usually like, I don't know, an hour, half hour to an hour, somewhere in there. And we just have fun. So grab a chair, grab a cup of something, tea, coffee, whatever suits your fancy. And we'll see you then. Other than that, we do a video a day right now. So exciting. And we are so close. I wish there were a bell in here or something. So close to 1,000 subscribers. I can't even imagine it. I can't imagine people who have like millions and millions of subscribers. Man, they must just pinch themselves all the time, because I can't imagine 1,000 people that love to sit and sew and chat and, you know, do other fun crafts and stuff, crochet and knit and pull up a chair, and that's what we do. So what are we doing today? Well, yesterday, the tulip block, I'm doing this as just a little, like a big, like kind of a bigger coffee mug rug that I have by my coffee pot. You know, so when you have like, you know, you put your spoon down and it's got like cream on it, or you know, or you have like the little, you know, little stuff that you do, syrups, or, you know, little stuff, and there's always like driplets of coffee, and I hate that on my counter. And I also don't want to clean my counter every single time I get a cup of coffee, so I keep one that's like 12 by 12 or so. It's like smaller than a placemat, bigger than a mug rug, smaller than a bread box. No, I'm just kidding. Any hooser. So the one I have is from Valentine's Day. It still has a heart on it, and so I thought, ooh, this little I almost said mullet tulip is cute, so let's do one. So we did one yesterday. We started it yesterday on the live until I realized that this, which actually is supposed to go this way, this was a bird on the big. Always watch the pattern, always double check. They say measure twice, cut once, look twice. Make sure there are no people upside down, words upside down. I do it all the time. In this particular case, it was a bird, a parakeet, I believe. And these are its legs. So the entire time I'd be pouring my coffee, I'd be staring at this parakeet's butt. And I didn't only do it once. We're only pros here. I did it twice. Bird, no head, legs in the air, butt showing. And I'm sorry, but at 8 o'clock in the morning, I can't look at that. I can't. It would ruin it. It would ruin those 3 minutes that I have by myself at the coffee machine, at the coffee pot. So we're ditching that one. And all of a sudden, it was really hot today. And all of a sudden, it's getting very cloudy, like it wants to rain, which I wish it would, because we need it. So that's why I keep kind of glancing outside, because it just looks more and more and more like it wants to rain. Anyway, so I scrapped the parakeet fabric. I gotta find something to do with that fabric. You know, it's not that bad. I didn't buy it. It was part of a little pack. See, you see the little birds? It's not bad. I mean, it would be pretty with something that you could make it work. But it's got to be something where you're going to cut so you can see the whole bird and not just its fanny. So I went back to that little pack, and there was this little kind of flower thing. I'm not overly excited about it, but it'll do. Okay. So I redid that part, which goes like this. It's not the best tulip I've ever seen, but that's okay. So now what do? Now, so the flying geese. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Now on either side of the flying geese, 2.5 by 4.5. Okay, on either side. Yes. Okay. So now we're going to put these on. Let's go to the sewing room. So what are you sewing today? And let me tell you, before you answer, let me tell you why I'm sewing this today. Because I just wasn't ready to start the new petals quilt. We're doing a new petals quilt for May. And I don't have all the stuff. And by the time I got done with the live yesterday, literally, I think I even left my sewing machine on, which I never do. But I ran out of here, ran to the store to get the rest of the stuff I needed for dinner to cook, to feed these people. And these people, it's just Steve and me. So I ran to the store, then I got back, made dinner. He had to leave early this morning. And so we ate dinner real fast, got everything cleaned up, got his stuff ready for tomorrow, did a little laundry, finally sat down and watched some Downton Abbey. I'm almost through. I've almost gone through this series twice. And you know what I'm going to do when I'm done? That's right. Start it over. Why? Why not just watch something new? I don't know. Sometimes I have this happen with a lot of things in my life. Like sometimes I'll have an audiobook playing, and that's why a lot of times I only, for the most part, I really only listen to audiobooks for books that I've already read. Because sometimes having that thing playing in the background, it must be if you have ADHD, maybe it's something to do with that. But, sometimes having something going focuses me better on things that I'm working on. And so I end up missing a lot of the show. And so I find comfort when it's something that I've already seen or watched or listened to before, because I don't feel like I have to be actively paying attention to it to follow along. And it focuses my brain on the other things I need to think about. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. And not my kooky brain. Okay. For those of you who are so sweet and always ask how the yard project is going, oh my God, don't ask. You don't even want to know today. You don't even want to know. So they've been repaving our. Holy cow! How do you do that? Okay. So now I'm just going to put the top on this one. I'm just going to square that up a little bit. Let's just square that up just a little bit. Kind of like. I'm just trimming the top off. It was a little uneven. Because, wait till you see what we're supposed to do next. We're supposed to make the petals. I've never done this before, and it looks a little, okay. Oh, that's not the top. Anyway, the reason I chose this today was, because I hadn't gotten anything else really put together, you know, fabric-wise or pattern-wise or whatever, and I've just had a lot of stuff on my brain today. And, I don't know how to describe it. I felt like coming in here and sewing, but I didn't feel like coming in here and sewing like a big project or starting something that really involved a lot of thought. I just wanted something kind of simple. And so if you're like that and you feel like, because here's really the point of it. here's really the point of it. Something like this. Okay, well this is not a 1/4 inch seam. I guess maybe it is. I don't know why it made that weird sound. Something like a mug rug or a placemat or this little thing, this little coffee pot rug. I don't know. It doesn't. I needed the iron. I almost grabbed the camera. It just doesn't seem to require a whole lot of thought. And yet I feel like I've been able to come in and do something, especially on a day when I don't have a lot of time. So like last night when once we finished all that stuff and it was time to then kind of wrap up and wind down for the night, well, I didn't have time to come in and do anything else last night. I was too tired and it was getting late. Okay, enough about that. We've done this now. Now we have to do the petal stuff. Okay, so the first part of the petal thing, layer a white, okay, take 2. Layer a white 2.5 by 2.5 inch square on one end of a green 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangle. Green. Okay. Lay a white on one end, right sides together, and sew from corner to corner. Okay. Okay. So, the yard. Steve's not working in the yard now with this leveling project that he's doing in the front. But here's something crazy. They repaved our road out front like 2 weeks ago. I'm not exactly Speedy Gonzalez when it comes to the road projects. So they were here they kept saying, oh, we're going to start on, okay, wait a minute. Okay, the instructions, sorry, I couldn't even read believe what I was reading, because it just didn't make any sense. So we're doing this little stem, and what you basically have to do is, it's almost like you're sewing a flying geese thing, because you're putting 2 squares on the end of a rectangle, but you have to sew the seam in the same direction. You have to sew it on in the same direction, so that instead of it flapping up like that, it's going to kind of flap away this way, so that it makes this leaf. Okay, another one of these. Now, let's make sure we don't mess this up, Angela, because really, I want it to go that way. So I'm going to sew it that way. Okay. So when they started this road project, they notified us, I'm serious, it was February. And at first they said, okay, it's going to start the end of February. Okay, fine. So February came and went. No road project. Okay. Then they put up signs that said they were going to start the road project on March 2nd. Okay, March 2nd. March is cool. March 2nd came and went. In fact, most of March came and went. And it wasn't until April that they actually started this road project. So they had to keep changing the sign. They crossed, March, April, whatever. So, okay, now am I supposed to do another one of these? Green, thanks. So, then they were here for, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks. And, so then they finished it, but they left these areas where they had not finished. And there were these like little gullies that ran down the length of the side of each road that almost looked like a gutter, but we don't have gutters. And they said, okay, well, we'll be back to finish that. Okay, so 2 weeks has gone by, and we thought, okay, whatever. Maybe they're done. Well, they weren't done. So this morning, while Steve was gone, our neighbor comes over and he's like, I'm going to pull your sprinkler heads out from along the road because they're here to finish the work and they're going to tear up like the first 3 feet of our yards. Oh my God. And sure enough, they have made a royal mess out there today. Again, which is fine. They have to redo the road. But they could have let us know that. I'm not in the mood. They could have let us know that yesterday, because then Steve could have pulled them up. And I wouldn't have looked like a moron out there trying to figure out, thank God my neighbor knew what he was. Thank God. Thank God for Rudy. Because I didn't know exactly what to do. And I didn't know exactly how Steve wanted it done. So, okay. This part looked a little more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't. Here's what I found. If you just kind of, on some of this stuff, you have to really like think it out. Imagine it. Otherwise. Okay. It's done. Okay, now what? Now what do I do? Where's it? Oh, there. Alright, so those are done. I guess I sew this together. Sew a leaf unit to either side of a green 2.5 inch square. Oh. To a green 2.5 inch square. Thus, a stem. So what are you sewing on today? So that's why I'm doing this. I just wanted something a little, not a big commitment. Not a lot of stress. Another question, what did you do today? Anything fun? It's a Thursday. Kind of a home day. Yeah, nothing exciting. And just kind of, I don't know, I got a lot of stuff that's got to get done. You ever have days like that where you have so much stuff to get done and it just gets overwhelming because you don't know what to do first? Haha, this is coming out cute. Okay, where does this go? Doesn't go on yet. Could have done that a little better. Could have done that just a little bit better. I don't know where I missed it, but I could have done a little better. Okay. So, white to green. Almost done. See what I mean? What a quick, fun little present. So, now that our sprinklers are all half dismantled in the same area that Steve's got all this dirt that he's moving around. So, now we'll see what happens with that. God only knows. God only knows when they're going to finish this project, because I'm telling you what, at 3:30 this afternoon, it kind of looked like they were packing up and done for the day. Okay, so this goes above this. Okay, let's sew these together. Okay. And roll. Let's put this on there. Go slow, Angela. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Now we're ready. Sometimes I have a tendency to do that. I think I've got something and I just want to, okay, I've got it, I want to sew it. And I get it on and I just want to sew. I floor it. That's a really good time to slow your machine down. Oh, not right now. But sometimes I will do that when I notice like I'm just getting careless. You know, if I'm sewing a bunch of the same repetitive thing, I will turn my machine down, way down to one of the lower, slower settings, and I'm gonna go with it. Does that bother you? Does it bother you that I'm just gonna go with it? Because that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we do. Just go with it. Okay. Now, let's try and not make it a disaster again when we put the flower head on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, close your eyes. Okay. And then I have a question for you about seams. So here's a question. When you, I peeked a little bit. It's really cute. So when you end up with, and of course the flower head is off from the stem. If it bothers you, depart. Today, for me, just gonna cut this off. There's a couple little flyaway ends to these things. I'm just gonna cut them off so that I can sew this part on straight. Okay, so my question was, when you end up with something like this, where it's kind of a small project, but you've got a lot of seams, do you clip those away? Like when you have, or you end up with pieces that connect and you've got too many seams in one area that are going all in different ways, what do you do? Do you just kind of shave a little bit off? Or do you just let it work itself out when you baste it? You know, put the batting and all that kind of good stuff. Do you just kind of let that absorb some of the, you know, excess? Whatever. Because that's usually what I do. But I'm just thinking, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should trim some of those, you know. Well, the first thing I should do is be a little bit more conscious of my seams when I'm pressing. But sometimes, again, you get a whole bunch of them in one spot. There's not a whole lot you can do. And there you have it, a butterfly coffee rug. It's cute. I wouldn't make a whole quilt out of it, but it's cute. It's cute enough to run my kitchen. Yeah, and I feel like I did something today. So I think in the next like 2 minutes, I'm just gonna square this up a little bit there, just so I can kind of get it there. And now I think what I'll do is I'll use the flower, because I'm not all that. Oh, the bird! We'll use the bird for the back. Perfect. It's perfect. Perfect. Angela, let's just try and get the birds going the right. Let's do it this way. And the birds are a little freaky. They're kind of doing this like sideway. It's giving me a little bit of, it's creeping me out a little bit, to be quite honest with you. If I'm just being honest, it's freaking me out a little bit. Okay, let's do it right there. Yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to trace around. I'm just going to cut around it. Oh, you're probably not supposed to do it that way. That's okay. Today, that's how we're doing it. I can hear the tractor outside, but I don't hear it moving. So I don't know exactly. It's been a weird yard day, so I don't know exactly what's going on out there. Oh, he's probably moving more dirt. Oh my god, the dirt. Okay. There's that. Now, if I want it to come out on the same way, right? I'm going to put it like this. No, I'm going to put it like this. Put it like this. And then I'm going to sew it all the way around. And when I pull it out, it's going to be right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hold on 1 second. Well, maybe it's not going to happen today. Because I don't have any batting handy. I thought I did, but I don't. Okay, so I might wander back in later. I'll show it to you tomorrow. But I'm just going to put the bird thing on the back. Probably stitch around the tulip and call it a day. I'm so glad you came and hung out with me today. I'm going to go back to work for a little bit. I had a fantastic time. Thank you for the break. And tomorrow we are going to sew. Oh, where's this? We're going back to the block. Tomorrow is, snowball. We'll do something else along with it because that's fast. It's like, we're old hacks for that, right? Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. And remember, only a 1/4 inch seam. I love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.